How are we doing, folks? It's the Nightmare Cabin again. I'm doing another British Steel episode. I'm on a roll with these now, and I'm concentrating on the moment with bands that did a short, sharp burst. You know, they did a little bit and then burned out pretty quick, but left a last impression. So it's a case of quality over quantity, as you with this, especially the last video with Nadir and Enmity. The only went to the demo phase. I've just been told, actually, a follow up to that members of Nadir are in a new band, Thrones of Icarus, and they've got a Spotify. There's 2 singles on a Spotify. I've not got Spotify, so I couldn't find anything else. They've not got a Metal Archives page, but I'll put a link to it in the description if you're interested. I don't know which members are in the band either, but I sent that video to a friend who knew people in that band, and he sent me that link. So anyway, today we went from Essex, and today we're going up to the Highlands of Scotland with the criminally underrated, absolutely fantastic Madman is Absolute. And this poxy light, it's just never, it's either, I watched the videos back and it's either too dark or too bloody bright. So I'm still getting used to it all, but there you go. Right, Madman is Absolute. Now, as I told you yesterday, Nadir were the first death metal band I ever heard. Well, Madman was Absolute is the first ever death metal band I got into. What really struck a chord for me was that the music was death metal, but the vocals were more like a hardcore vocal. So it wasn't what you get now with, with death metal, with that, the growl. Tony Newell, he could have been in a hardcore band. He had like a scream, and he had like a lot of emotion in his voice. His vocals were clear, and what he may have perhaps lacked in technicality, he made up for in just, passion and emotion and just pure enthusiasm. So it had that kind of crossover appeal for me. It was easy for me to go from hardcore into death metal through Madman is Absolute. It was that logical bridge. And I never saw it myself, but apparently they did used to cover Blinded by Fear by At the Gates, and that's what got me into At the Gates. And my first proper album was Slaughter of the Soul. And then, because of Madman and what I'm about to describe with Madman, decapitated organic hallucin. I can't pronounce it. Let me go get it. One sec. Oh shit. One sec. It's looking right at me. This is such a organic hallucinosis. There you go. So that was when I got that was my first Decapitated album. So that was, as per usual, my theory always is your favourite album by any band is the first one you hear. And that's when I jumped on board. From that, I got into the Berserker. And then I eventually saw Madman is Absolute opening for the Berserker on that UK tour as well. I do believe David Gray from Akakoka was drumming for him on that tour. So anyway, let's get into Madman is Absolute. So I first got into Madman is Absolute through Luke, who I do Maiden Cast with. His band, Set in Silence, who I'm going to do a video on them one day. They went on tour with Madman is Absolute, and they brought a bunch of their CDs back. And it just hit me. So, like I say, you got the death metal music with hardcore vocals, but the music was just, it was just another level for me. I mean, I was in a band myself, and I just got swept away by the technicality of it, the precision of it all. and it was just like this attack. It was just so vicious. Like, again, it was death metal, but you could have a hardcore pit to it, and it's like they had a hardcore show, and they had that. They never really had proper breakdowns as such, but they had the hooks as well of what a hardcore song would have, but with death metal riffs. So the opening track, like All That Remains, the riffs as well just stuck in your head. So like, and the drums. We'll get to that later. I'm gonna get ahead of myself, but yeah, the that song opening, just the fuck am I listening to, you know? And Dial Psycho was awesome as well. And then so you've got these two tracks that are just, you know, just utter chaos, but organised. You know, again, everything was just precise, and the precision of the playing and the way everything was just put perfectly in the way the song was structured. And then you had this little interlude, this little like minute of guitar melody for Serenity, and then it kicks into 2839, which is just, when I first heard that, it just fucking blew me away. And it, to this day, it's just the ferocity of the drums are just it's machine like, and the way the riffs and the way the fucking vocals are just put in, it's just, everything is perfectly spaced out, and the way like Tony just sparks. There's this bit where it's like and over the top of that he's like, "You're just a part of a machine." And it's just I spoke to him at a gig, and he just said it was basically about being at work. 2839 I think was his employment number where he was at the time. And yeah, that song's just fucking phenomenal. The way just the riffs are just so savage and tight, and there's just so many riffs packed into one song. It even goes all techie at the end as well. They must have been like songs like Spheres of Madness by Decapitated must have influenced them. I never spoke to them really about their influences, but there must have been. But yeah, if you take that precision and just that mechanized feeling, like if you see it in the artwork as well, just that, you know, just that mechanical machine-like precision that, like, you could say Fear Factory had on like Demanufacture. So sort of that dystopian feeling about it, that machine-like precision that like Decapitated had on those first 4 albums, but with a hardcore approach. So think Nihility by or take any of the first 4 Decapitated albums, and then take Stamping Grounds, Carved from Empty Words, and just mesh it together. And that's the feeling that you're getting, if you know what I mean. That's the overall feel of it. So rather than, you know, 4 guys in khaki pants and a fucking whatever death metal band t-shirt, and they're all just looking down and headbanging, this looks like a show, you know. And they kicked off a pit big time. So the next was a promo, which I think I got this in advance. I think someone friends with the band might have given me some MP3s to begin with. I don't think I had all of these songs, but I had a couple of them. And I finally got to see them. This was I bought this at London at the garage when they were opening for the Berserker. What a show that was. And let me go for the lineup quickly, because everyone needs a mention here. So you got Tony Newell on vocals, David Sanford on guitars. I mean, some of the best riffs, some of the best solos. I don't know if he is doing anything today, but he should be in a band, and he should be very rich. And you know, this band should have been fucking massive. All 4 of them are talented, but yeah, David Sanford's guitars on this are fucking fantastic. James Rafferty on bass. I know him as Jim. Jim was the one that really gelled with the guys in Set in Silence. I got talking to him at a gig as well. I'm friends with him on Facebook to this day. And yeah, super nice bloke. He went on to play bass in Coexist and Man Must Die as well. Another two brilliant bands from Scotland. Scotland's got a fucking savage metal scene, it's got to be said. And yeah, Man Must Die. I mean, fuck man, they got signed to Relapse, so that's massive. But yeah, and then the almighty Matt Holland on the drums. That guy was he is Bruce Lee on the kit. So this is probably my favourite release of the band. Oh, one thing as well, I've got to tell you. I bought this on a t-shirt at that gig. So it's a black t-shirt with that logo in white. And then this on the back. So that's on the tray here. Printed on white in the back. Metal as fuck since 2000 AD. And that was in white on the back as well. It looked fucking kick-ass. It was my favourite t-shirt for years. I wore it everywhere with pride. I wore it on my own gigs. And I still wear it to this day, but I'd look like Winnie the Pooh. So I gave that one up. Let's give this a bit to help it focus. I'm going to turn that light off as well because it's not doing a lot. Yeah, that's it. Right, now this is pure perfection. This is 5 songs with a little interlude. I mentioned Serenity on this one. This has Serenity Part 2, opening with Envy. Now, the intro, so you've got like a background. Think like you've got a wall, and behind that wall, the song is coming together. So you hear like a just in the background, and then you hear like some like sort of synthesizer, really like you know, like metal effects coming in, and then you hear the drums, and then it's like you hear this double kick drums, the guitars all open, and then that wall of sound just drops and the band kick in, and Tony just kicks the song off going liar, and that's when the riffs kick. That's when the chaos just kicks off. And that fucking riff, fucking awesome. So he says liar 2-3 times. So this is bad, you know, it's fast enough anyway. Drumming's just constant. And then these kick drums kicking underneath it, and it just elevates the song even more. It's just absolutely sublime. And I'm trying to think of the song much. It just goes from next level to the next level, and then I'm trying to think how it ends. If there's anything that comes in, no, but that's sort of two thing. Then Obsidian Gaze opens up as well. Open chords again, and then you got a bit of spoken word in the background. It sort of builds up, and then kicks in. Again, it's just angry sounding. That's the best way I can. It's just full of just hunger and fucking frustration. And then when it builds up during the verse, and then when it kicks into the chorus, when you think it's just going to kick off even more, it don't. It just the drums carry on, and then it just goes into this clean riff. It goes well, it's more like a melody, just that. And then the vocals come in again, but that riff ringing through, it's just fucking phenomenal, and it's just sinister sounding. And then I'm trying to think of other bits of it as well, because the song just goes in so many different levels. The again, the drums, fucking phenomenal. Serenity as well comes in again. You get a nice little break. Unmapped Roads starts off actually quite doomy with like a and then that starts off quite slower and then goes through different paces before going really fast again. And but every song on there is perfect, but I say the underrated one, the one that sort of it was just another track on the CD, but over time it kind of became my favourite, was The Great Unwashed. So it starts off with this, it's like this little drum that sort of beats, that sort of builds up. It goes round and builds up, and then you got this again, this sort of melody in the car goes dun, 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 and another riff kicks in, and it just builds up and builds up, and when the vocals kick in, and again the drums underneath it, and then it's like, we are the great unwashed, and then kicks in. It's just, again, the riffs, the amount of riffs this band used to cram into one song. And then this has quite a climatic ending, again, with this pretty cool melody with a and that riff goes around a couple of times, and it sort of speeds up and then gets into a towel, so it's like and then just kicks in with about 3 screams, like all recorded together. But that melodic bit is played again heavier and like faster with each round, and yeah, it's just fucking phenomenal. And then you've got Blinded Eyes, which I think could very well be their best song, and again the riffing on it is just fucking phenomenal, and the drums underneath it, and it's just tight as hell. That's the word I've been looking for this whole time. But they were just so fucking tight. And again, the technicality. It was technical without being up its own arse. You know, you hear so many technical bands now, and it's just widdly, but they used the technical side just to keep you on the edge and just keep the song going. But everything was memorable, and everything was full of hooks. And the solos on Unmapped Roads and The Great Unwashed, fucking Adrian Smith would be proud to have wrote them. They were that good. So as heavy and intense and technical as they were, they always interjected just enough melody in there to keep it memorable, keep it going, keep the emotion in there, keeping it dark. And yeah, Blinded Eyes, just there's this part in the middle that all of us who listened to it at the time were like, just play that again. And again, the riffs and the drums just came together perfectly. So it's like, and then it's just like this, and then let me try and think of it. Like, oh fuck it, I completely forgot it now. Yeah. It just kind of starts and stops like and the way the drums just followed that riff, you know, it's fucking phenomenal. And then right at the end, it just breaks down into this nice clean bit. Again, got a nice little section. Nice little melodic section. And there's even like a little at the end then. It's fucking, and then this massive scream comes in at the end. It's fucking, again, backed up by these double kick drums, and then just rings out, and it's just left you there bewildering. Obsidian Gaze has this cool little bit as well, where at the end of the riff, it just like at the end of the section of the song, it just pauses, and then David does this on his guitar, and then that bang, just straight back into the verse again. That little touches like that are just what make this so much fun to listen to. And yeah, I can't believe this was just limited to a promo. It should have been released on a mainstream label. I was banging my head against the wall going, why has no one signed this band? A few years later, when did this come out? 2008. So yeah, this was the 2005 promo. As far as I'm aware, it was only ever sold at shows. But this came out on a record label, and this was another EP. So they only ever put out 3 EPs, unfortunately. They never got to make an album. This was produced. I think they did some shows with Stamping Ground. I don't know if they ever did it in England, but maybe when. I think at the time, anyone who toured, who went up to Scotland, Madman would get they were like the premier support band for the time. I won't say who and well, just in case I get something wrong, because I don't know. I'm going strictly by memory here, but I know though. Like I say, they came down to the UK. Down to the UK. They're in the UK. Fuck's sake, you know what I mean. They came down south to. They did the tour supporting the Berserker, and I'm sure they did some shows with Stamping Ground. And anyway, Scott Atkins from Stamping Ground produced this third EP. This is the 11th Hour Absolution. And yeah, basically carrying on where they left off. This is a bit more, less of the technicality. This one's a bit more straightforward. This one's a bit thrashier. But like Resolution and Crash and Burn are very dark. And this has got more, it feels more of like almost more of like a cinematic feel in a way. There's a lot more like dramatisation in the songs with the lyrics, and there's a lot of build up and whatnot. I mean, they still thrash like a good one, but the meaning of as well. The last track, there's like a little melody that's played for a couple of sections, and the way the drums go underneath it, and then it comes in again, and then it goes off into this like solo. But that little section, I swear, it could pass for black metal. There's a black metal feel to that last song. It's ever so slight, and I'm not saying it's probably. I think it's probably done by accident, but it's there. It's there nonetheless. So, but yeah, another real solid release. Real solid songs. 2005 promo is still my favourite, but yeah, this is awesome to have in the collection as well. And yeah, that was it. They just did 7 tracks, 5 tracks and a little interlude. Well, yeah, that was 6 tracks and an interlude, so I shouldn't really count that. And yeah, 5 tracks on that. I mean, this is 23 minutes, so even though it's 5 tracks, it's still only like, what, 3 minutes shorter than Rain in Blood. But again, as I said yesterday with Nadir, I'd love it if someone, and I'd even put my money on the table and help out. If someone could put together like a collection, like just put all 3 of these on one CD, put together a decent booklet with a load of like photos and flyers and like maybe an interview with a band or something, that would be fucking amazing. And who knows, you know, maybe you could stretch it out on 2 CDs and add a load of unreleased stuff. I don't know if they've got any live recordings or demos that they didn't use or whatever. But this band were absolutely phenomenal. And again, they were my gateway into death metal, and I've never been the same since. But this is still some of my favourite music to this day. And when I decided, yeah, off the top of it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I ain't covered these yet. So I'm going to do a British Steel episode on these. But so I've listened to these 3 in the gym today. And even then, during like fucking Blinded Eyes and Obsidian Gaze, I just wanted to get my dumbbell and just fire it, you know. And yeah, it still gives you that energy to this day. It still gives you that edge. It still makes you. It's not good to drive to, put it that way. You will get done for speeding. And yeah, this band should have been fucking massive. Someone should have snapped these up. The fact that these didn't get as far as they should have, and you know, opened up for some bigger bands, and that was it. They never became headliners. Never got an album out that's a bestseller to this day, and is in these fucking top 10 classic lists and whatnot. It just goes. It says more about the fucking music industry than it does about these. Put it that way. And yeah, this band should have been fucking huge. But there you go. It's not all about. It's not just meritocracy. You know, it's about funding. It's about networking, and for one reason or another, that window just didn't come for this band, and I don't know why. But what a legacy they left behind, because this was just perfection. There's no other word for it in these 3. So I've never seen this. I don't think this has even been listed on Metal Archives, and I can't see it on Discogs. But you can get hold of these 2, and if you can, try and get hold of that. Maybe it's on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, Madman is absolute. What I'd give for this band to reform. So yeah, I'm going away for a couple of days now. So there probably won't be nothing now till next week. Hope Luke's going to be coming back from holiday soon, so we'll hit the ground running with Maiden Cast again. Let's talk about. I've got next up. I will be doing Terrorizer, but next up, I fancy a break with the Morbid Angel. I know I should really just do Terrorize and be done with it, but I fancy something different. So I'm going to be doing Sulfur Aeon on the next. Then I'll do Terrorizer, and then I need to chase up with Jackie Schmidt from Into the Necrosphere. He's going to be coming on, and we're going to be doing Akakoka. So, yeah, plenty coming. Obviously, there's stuff coming in, albums coming out, which I'll be reviewing as and when, as it goes and as they're released. The new Metal Legion magazine, the new edition of that's being worked on as we speak. So yeah, plenty to go on, plenty going on, plenty to look forward to. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and stay sane. See you later.